You know, Music and Words Unite is only possible because of viewers and supporters like you. So please subscribe or you're going to make Mark cry. Hello and welcome to another episode of Music and Words Unite. I am your co-host Troy, and with me I'm my friend and co-host Mark. How you doing, Mark?
What's good?
And today we are doing another episode of Should You Listen to This? And this time it's about the album Eliminator. Oh, there it is. There it is. It's about the album Eliminator by ZZTop. Now, if you're new here, welcome. Mark and I do a lot of album reviews, some reaction videos, some tier lists, but mostly album reviews. And we do a lot of track-by-track long-form album reviews, podcast style, but this is a short one. Just more or less, what do we think of this album, and do we think you should listen to it or not, in our opinion? And so Mark and I went and listened to this album multiple times. I think I listened to it like five times, I think, prior to doing this episode. Mark, I was somewhat familiar with this album before, only the hit songs, though. What about you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much the same. I've heard a couple songs on here like randomly. I may have listened to this album like once or twice in the past, but because I remember TV Dinners and I remember the song Thug. So
Okay. Yeah, well, we're gonna get to it in a second, but actually those two songs were big surprises for me on this record.
Yeah, I know.
So all right, Mark. Normally, I think you've been going first on these ones. I'll go first on this one, maybe.
Okay.
The reason why I requested this is because I remember when I was in high school, I played this song "Give Me All Your Lovin'" in a cover band. I was telling you about this prior to recording. And, I was 16, 17. I was into a lot of prog music and metal music and stuff and grunge. And so to me, this was like just something on the radio that people wanted to hear in a cover band. You know what I mean? It was nothing. I didn't put too much stock into it, I guess. And my dad, growing up, this was one of his favorite records. I remember him listening to this record all the time when I was younger. Mm-hmm. And Sharp Dressed Man was like his favorite song and stuff like that. So I had a lot of nostalgia. And then I was watching a YouTube video where it was about vinyl pressing. And it was like top 20 modern records, like pressed records that you can buy right now that are in production. To, test out your audio system and let people hear it. And this record came up in it, right? And I was like, really? ZZ Top is like one of the best audiophile records, right? And I was like, that's interesting. It turns out, Mark, that there's a reissue right here by Rhino that was mastered by Kevin Gray, a remaster by Kevin Gray, who's one of like the best mastering engineers pretty much of all time. And I gotta say, Mark, spoiler, I do think this record is good, by the way, but this vinyl sounds absolutely incredible. It's one of the best sounding vinyls I have in my whole collection. It's up there. It's really, really dead quiet, no noise whatsoever. The mix is incredible and the mastering is it's like unbelievable. So it's just really enjoyable to listen to. So it makes me want to listen to the record more, actually. So that's what I got to say. And I'll go first.
I don't have this on vinyl. I just wanted to say I don't have this on vinyl, but I listened to it on streaming.
Okay.
And the production on this album is even like the streaming version is just, it's really good. Like it sounds really good. It's a Bob Ludwig album, so it's not surprising.
Yes, originally, yeah. So I think I'll say this. Let's start about the songs first, and we'll go back and forth on this. What jumped out to me was, as far as the songs go, the first 4 songs on the record, well, especially the first 3, but the first run of 4 is like, that's tough to beat as far as like this kind of music. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like banger after banger. And I didn't know if I was really going to like this music that much because I remember it was like something my dad liked. You know what I mean? And when I was a teenager, I was like, does he like cool music or not? You know what I mean? Because I'm thinking I'm cool because I'm listening to like 90s alt rock and all that, Turns out my dad was listening to some really cool music, actually. So, so this is an
definitely
example.
A dad band, too, for sure.
Right.
Definitely a dad band.
Dude, I mean, so the songs that I like the most are the first 3. I Need You Tonight. Legs is really good.
Mm-hmm.
But the big surprise is on the record for me. Like shocked, almost listening to it. Like, am I listening to ZZTop right now? Was Thug and TV Dinners. I was like, these freaking songs are awesome. I really liked it. What did you think, Mark? What were your favorites? What did you think of this?
I'm pretty much in the same boat, man. I mean,
okay.
Those first 3 tracks are like classic ZZTop, and then you got Legs, obviously. But yeah, like Thug and TV Dinners is like they're like kind of like synth wavy a little bit, like
yeah, they
especially
are. Yeah.
TV Dinner is like it's got like the you know, it's just like yeah. I mean, like this album, I knew what I was getting here, but at the same time, I was still kind of like throwing a curveball with some of these songs.
Yes,
I especially like the song "I Got the Six," which is actually sung by Dusty Hill.
Yes,
who's usually backup vocalist. There's one line in that song that I have to say real quick.
Go ahead.
It made me actually laugh out loud when I was listening to it.
Okay.
So it goes, "Look at this, what a pair. She won't let me touch her there. She's so discriminating. This is weird. It's time to blow. I just heard the rooster crow. Guess I'll have to spank my monkey."
Okay. Well,
yeah.
You know,
I was actually on the floor laughing when I heard that.
And it's actually I Got the Six, and there's some references, like there's some double entendres going on, I think, in that song, and there's a lot of tongue-in-cheek stuff, I think, with this band, but like that's one, I think. But some of it is pretty straightforward. But I gotta say this, and then I'll play a couple of clips. But you know, I'll say what my least favorite songs were. Probably the last two, I would say.
Okay.
But for me, pretty much everything before the last two, like I was just totally jamming with all those songs. You know what I mean? It was really, I really enjoyed this record. Like surprisingly so, actually. So I just want to say that one of the things that totally stood out to me, and I'll play a clip of it. I had no idea that this was like synth-based music.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I just never thought of it when I was younger, I guess. But now that, you know, I'm older and I've listened to a lot more music, and have been in like music production here and there when I was younger, I was like, wow, it's a drum machine. First thing that stood out to me, it's a drum machine with a synth bass, not even a real bass. And it's actually an Oppenheimer. This was Oppenheimer, you know, not Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer synth. That's how you say that, synth, right? Mm-hmm. Oberheim, not Oberheim. I gotta cut this.
Yeah, Oberheim, yeah.
Oberheim. I got the note right here. Okay, all right. It's actually an Oberheim DMX, which was used a ton in the early 80s in this time period, right? Prince used to use it. A bunch of people used it. And man, does that synth sound good, especially for synth bass. And they're using a drum machine. In fact, there's a guy who was uncredited originally on the album. I looked it up. His name is Lyndon Hudson. He was a former radio DJ and a sound engineer. Apparently, he was one of the people that was highly influential in this album when it came to the sound of it, when it comes to the synth-based sound and the drum machine. And he actually wrote a song, 100% wrote it, Thug. And he's not in the band, of course. And he basically, I think, worked a lot with Billy Gibbons, like on pre-production and writing and stuff like that. And there was a lot of, because he wasn't credited on the album, there was like a big lawsuit, I think, and he actually ended up winning that lawsuit. And he got, you know, royalties for at least Thug, but apparently he contributed. Apparently he actually created the synth part in Legs too. So yeah, so it's kind of an interesting album when you think about it. But I'll play a couple quick clips from it. Like if you just listen to it, I was like, the first thing that stood out to me is like, oh, drum machine and synth bass. Okay, I just wasn't expecting that, but here we go.
Yeah, the time is right for it.
Yeah.
What you got is so sweet.
vocals. I like his voice a lot. It's really good. What a great chorus. Another thing, Mark. So we're just playing clips for now. We're playing some, but another thing that stood out to me is, my goodness, how good the guitar sounds on this album. Like, you can hear anytime he like slightly plucks a string, like scrapes it a little bit, you can hear that. Like, especially if you have good headphones or good speakers or something. Like, it is so well recorded, number one. And his guitar tone is so good. And then his guitar playing is very unique. Like, he has a very unique sound. I don't think I've ever heard someone play the style that he plays. He plays with like when his lead playing in particular. When he plays a very, let's call it subdued, very controlled lead guitar playing style with a lot of melody and pinch harmonics, which if you're a guitar player out there, you know what that means. But, I mean, listen to this. Listen to the way this comes. It's a synth bass. It's almost like Devo, like Whip It or something.
Yeah, man. Everybody, even ZZTop was doing this kind of stuff in the early 80s. It was just, that was the way.
The guitar playing is so good, man. That's one of the things that I have to say. When I was younger, I thought that all good guitar playing was like flashy, because when you're young, a lot of times you think that, you know what I mean, or speed or something like that. Which obviously, my favorite guitar player has a lot of speed. But as I've gotten older, I think I know a lot more about guitar playing now than I did when I was young.
A lot of people,
yeah,
still kind of have that sentiment. It's like, if you're not playing like, Eddie Van Halen, then like I don't really care. But it's like, a lot of these like guitarists in these rock bands, these older rock bands, are just like kind of go underappreciated, and I think Billy Gibbons is definitely one example of that. I mean, the dude's like, he played like 7 instruments on this album. Like, he played guitar, harmonica, he played bass, he played keyboard, synthesizers. Like, he played a lot of stuff, and like you said, his guitar parts in this album are just so clean and just really great, and just like very crisp sounding. I think that's like, I unfortunately, I think a lot of people just look for like, speed and technicality a lot of the time, that these guys just go unnoticed. So
and I'm gonna play a clip from my dad's favorite song, but also definitely one of the best songs on the record. But I'm gonna skip a little bit on this one. Oh, actually, just listen to the beginning. My goodness. The synth bass is so fat sounding.
That riff is just so timeless.
There could be no worse. You could just listen to this forever.
Yeah, seriously.
And they could be talking about anything. You'd like it. That's how good the music is. I'm gonna play a little bit of the guitar playing. But there's a solo at the end. This solo is so good. can listen to this guy play guitar over this riff, like over this groove for an hour. Let's see. I got the 6 you mentioned. That was a good one. Need You Tonight. Everybody's probably heard Legs. You know what I mean? But I think the two to play clips of, Mark, and I can play whatever you want, is Thug and TV Dinners, because the Thug song has a ton of slap bass in it. I wasn't expecting. It's got a lot of cool stuff going on. Yeah. Things that I read about this was the guy who helped them, that was uncredited at first, Lyndon Hudson. He did some research, and he introduced the concept of the people's tempo. And what that means, what he came up with was, or he researched it, I guess, is that like some large percentage of hit songs were between 120 and 124 BPMs. And so majority of the songs on this record are within that intentionally, actually. And it has this kind of groove to it that, not all of them, but, so I found that interesting. But TV Dinners, man. I like that song a lot. Yeah. I like them frozen, but you understand. I throw them in and wave them, and I'm a brand new man. Oh yeah. The bass is so fat; it's almost like an industrial rock song. It's like a 9 Inch Nails bass. It's just dude, somebody recommend me. You could be you, Mark, but maybe the Don Henley album. I don't know. Give me more music that sounds like this. That's what I want to listen to. That's like rock music, but kind of poppy. You know what I mean? Like catchy, but rock music that has good musicianship, but is like synthy. You know what I mean? Like, right. I want more of that from the 80s, like more records that sound like Eliminator. Give me more like this. Anyway, Mark, what are your thoughts overall?
Yeah, I was reading that a lot of people, when this album came out, they were upset because, of course, they tried something new or, played something that was relevant to the times, and people were upset. So, right. So, like, of course, like they came out and were just like, just deal with it. Stop being pussies, basically. So, right. Then they kind of defined their own sound with this album, because it's like they still have a lot of like the, southern blues rock and like the hard rock mixed with like new wave, I guess. I don't really synth rock. I don't know.
I hear some new wave, a little bit of new wave. That one song that kind of sounds like Devo. That's definitely new wavy. Yeah,
I love Devo, man. Don't even get me started on Devo. Yeah. We gotta cover Devo on this channel, dude.
All right, yeah, let's do it.
I think you would love Devo, honestly. But
probably, I only know that one big song. That's all I know. So
you only know "Whip It"? Oh my god! Yeah, we gotta dive into that ASAP.
All right.
Right. Yeah, I love the mix between like southern rock, blues rock, and like synth on this album, because like it gives you a nice mix of both, and then you have like songs like Sharp Dressed Man with like extended guitar solos at the end, kind of like very similar to, you know, the song Lagrange by them. They're like probably their
Yes.
biggest song. Yeah,
Yep.
that
Yep.
has
Yep.
like an extended guitar solo at the end too. So it's kind of like you're getting like the earlier stuff, but like with the new sound, with like the synth sound, you know.
Yep.
And it's just like, so the production is just so big too. It's just like really like strong and in your face, and it's good, man. Like I'm not like the biggest like blues rock slash like, you know, like southern rock guy. Like I like some stuff, but like I could probably listen to this pretty much any time if it came on. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
just like it's kind of like easy listening. Like it's just like fun and cool, and it's not something I would really get sick of. So
In this
um
period of the 80s, man, like 82, 83, 84, right there. My God, there's so many
there's just
crazy
an
records.
unbelievable amount of good albums that came out at that time
Yeah.
span.
It's like in every
Almost like
genre
too
of
much.
music, too. Yeah.
I know, and it's like almost
Yeah.
too much to cover. It's crazy.
I know. It's like, yeah. Last thing for me, Mark. Obviously, I pretty much gave my review. I want to give credit to somebody who passed away last year. His name is Terry Manning. He was the engineer on this record.
Yeah.
One of the probably the main reason why it sounds so good from like the recording. You know what I mean? And he actually programmed that drum machine, and it replaced most of the live drums on the album. And he played the Moog synthesizer for the, well, I don't know if he played it, but, you know, he set up and got the sounds for the Moog synthesizer for the bass, the synth bass parts. So, and he was the main engineer on this, and he mixed the record. This record is mixed incredible. Like, it sounds amazing. I'm trying to tell you. Like,
Yeah, it really
it's
does.
very good, man. I was like,
I'm not
wow.
a big like
It's like,
mixing like I like this sounds great, you know, like I'm not like
yeah.
like the big like, oh, like, you know, like this is like the best recording ever, or like I can even really tell, but this album sounds big and good and really like crisp and clear. It's awesome.
You gotta come over again, Mark, and we'll listen to some records. And I'm gonna play just a couple tracks, but I'm telling you, man, you'll be like, oh wow, like, because you can not only when something is mixed super well, right, and engineered well and mastered well, not only does it just sound better, but like when you crank it up, you can feel it because it sounds so good, and it's almost like if you enjoy music, you kind of feel it in your bones. You know what I mean? It gives you the goosebumps. It gives you the like this just sounds right. It has like a vibe, you know, a vibe, an audio vibe. Well, I guess what I'm saying. But yeah, man, I could feel it, man. Like if you play something that's not mixed well or mastered well at high volumes, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's fatiguing to listen to, I would say. Give you a quick example, and then I'll shut up. I had my family over, and I played them Miasma by Ghost, right? Now, that song, like on the vinyl, like those vinyls are pressed pretty cheaply at GC. There's a plant, a very pretty popular pressing plant in Europe that presses them, and they're pretty cheap, like records. And when they master it, it's super compressed on vinyl, and like it's just, and you A/B it with this record, and this record sounds twice as good as that record. You know, that's from my favorite Ghost album. You know, so. Yeah, my point is like you can really feel it. I'm at the point now where I'd rather listen to the CD of Ghost music than like a couple of those vinyl pressings. Like, unfortunately, because some of modern music on vinyl is kind of hit or miss in my opinion. Like, it depends on if they really care about the vinyl quality or not. So anyway, that's my review of this record and Mark's review. So. Should you listen to this? I guess we're saying yes. Pretty much that's the answer. If you want to skip over to the end, yes.
If you listen to music, you know, you have to know what you're getting into, and I'm sure you've heard one of these songs, the hits, before.
Right.
So, the rest of the album sounds like the hits, but there's a lot more to discover as well, like a lot of good stuff. So, like you heard it with the slap bass there in Thug. So that's what you're gonna get here. Good stuff.
Yeah. Got to get some surprises. And even if you're familiar with the songs, but you've never actually sat down to listen to them and listen to the record, whether it's on streaming or, you know what I mean? Go do that because and really pay attention to the music and the playing and the production behind it. It's really a great record. I mean, it's legitimately like, you know, for me, the last two were a little bit weaker, right? But like, hey, every record, like not every single song is going to be great, in my opinion. Now, some people probably think those are great songs, and I'm new to the band, so maybe it is. You know what I mean? I'm not dismissing those songs, but even still, 9 out of 11 for me, which are like really good to great songs. That's like a very, very. That's a great album. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think highly recommend. Highly recommend. All right. Well, if you're still watching, thank you. We appreciate it. Let us know what you think of this album in the comments. In fact, if you've never heard this full album and you waited to listen to it, let us know what you think in the comments. And we have a free community. It's on our Discord platform. If you want to come in and chat about music with us and other people that are watchers of the videos on our channel, it's all 100% free. The link for that will be in the pinned comment. It's like a big music club. It's pretty fun. And last but not least, only about 5% of our viewers are subscribed, so we'd love to have you as a subscriber. We put out new content quite often, and if you like music nerddom, maybe this is the place for you. All right, Mark. Well, until next time.
Peace.
See you later.